What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hey, we've been in 3 nights, or we're in the middle. We've passed. Okay, we've had 2 of 3 nights of meetings with Mark Crawford, and it has been phenomenal. Just a wonderful time. I know that one of the things the Lord has been talking to me about is about habit restructuring, and about kind of the nature of mankind and how we're built and the way that God made us. And then he's been talking to me a lot about how he is the disruptor of the patterns, right? He's the one, like, we have to partner with him in it, but he is the one who's the disruptor of our normal patterns. So often we want to do something, or we want to achieve something great, we want to do something amazing, but we get locked in a pattern that prevents us from doing that thing. I think about for years wanting to do certain things, and I was talking with our leadership team, and normally what I found is I got to take things like bite-sized chunks, right? Like, I can't just take everything at the church and just throw it on its head like that. I've got to do it in kind of chunks so that people, they can acclimate to the change. They can process the sometimes trauma when you cut a ministry or you do something different. It can be traumatic for people where that's been a place of comfort for them. And so, I'm always very slow change. I like change. We do a lot of change, but we'll do little chunks of it. And I was in a leadership meeting about a month ago, and someone on our team said, why don't you just do immersion? Just immersion. Just make really sweeping big changes and let the chips fall where they may. That was not really what they said, but that's kind of what I took from it. And to me, I think you have to have a lot of wisdom about very large systemic changes and making those systemic changes really quickly. But what works really well is to find kind of a keystone element of your service, a keystone element of your life, something that is. And let's just talk about life. Let's just pull the church thing out of it. The studies show that if you have exercise as a keystone habit, and the reason why they call it a keystone is because if you foundationally are willing to get in the gym and exercise, and you make that a habit, you'll begin to eat better. What European country was it? Did a study? No, it was Australia. Did a study where they said that if for those people who had exercise as their keystone habit, they ended up they spent less on credit, right? They ended up spending less. So it was a habit that transformed their entire life. And but so all of this to say that we're having these meetings and we're talking about faith and hope so far. The reality of hope is an earnest expectation, and so often that earnest expectation, the issue that we have is about change. We expect things to change. We have an expectation that God's going to show up and he's going to change some things, but he wants to partner with you in transforming some habits. So what that requires is that when the moment that you begin to realize this is a habit that is not serving my life well. For example, we started an internship and people are realizing they do not have a habit of reading. And since they don't have the habit of reading, they're finding it very difficult to read the material that we're working through in the internship. Well, of course, that's a problem. Right? That's a bad habit. I don't have a good habit. So then you have to begin to discover what are the habits that you're willing to get rid of. And maybe it's, instead of sitting down, I've got to figure out, why is it when I get home that I'll grab a bag of potato chips, a Coke, and sit down on the TV, in front of the TV for 2 hours. might not be the best habit, but there's a payoff, right? There's a reward to it. I feel relaxed. I feel my body gets all the cravings that it has, salt and sugar and, high fructose corn syrup, and that feels good. And my taste buds like that. I'm able to get off my feet and relax. I can let my mind, unless you're really political and you're watching news, right? I can let my mind just slide into this state of relaxation when I'm watching a show. So what's the payoff? You feel relaxed at the end of the day. You get some of your cravings met. So we've got to begin to recognize, I feel like I want to sit down, but I realize that if I read a book, I might not get the same rewards. So perhaps you've got to, start to integrate some of the different things, like, instead saying, okay, I'm gonna watch one show. I'm gonna sit down and watch one show and snack, because it's pointless to just all that's bad, so I'm not going to do any of that. That creates actually a form of suffering, and it'll end up getting worse, right? You'll actually it's really bad. So what you want to do is you want to change the habit, not break the habit. So what you want to do with the habit change, you say, okay, I'm going to watch one show, pick one show. Maybe you DVR for when you decide to do your weekly binge, okay? And don't act like you don't. So you take your habit of watching one show, and then after that show, and have your snack, and then after that show, you decide to have a sweet, maybe fruit snack, like a healthy snack, while you grab your book, and then you read your book for a half an hour. Half hour of reading will get you through a lot of pages. People don't realize, even if you're a really slow reader, 30 minutes of reading, most people can't do it. Literally start with 10 minutes. I'm just going to read for 10 minutes, because most people haven't integrated reading as part of their lifestyle. So we say, okay, I'm gonna read for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and I'm going to eat some fruit while I read, or I'm going to eat some fruit or take some notes. And then maybe after that 15 minutes, you go, if you don't feel relaxed, or you don't feel like there's other things to do, maybe you get up and watch another show or do something else. But the point is that you still need to feel relaxed, right? You still need to have some of your cravings met. Now, over time, you'll be like, gosh, I just don't feel like watching the show. I'm too into this book, or I feel like, those things start to, but you have to do it consistently. We're talking about earnest expectation. We want things to change in our lives, so we've got to do some things to change what we're doing in our life. Let me just give you one other piece of that. It's Saturday, and everybody has a Saturday routine. All right, so what's your Saturday routine? What's your Saturday evening look like? And this, I think, is a really important question, because if your Saturday evening looks like, you guys just veg out all day, or you got projects all day and then you go rest, I would recommend doing something a little different, because Mark Crawford's preaching tonight. We've got amazing worship. God has been just showing up powerfully. Mark's preaching is so different than it has been in the past, and the way that he is bringing the word to the region. So if you got to change some things, change your routine tonight, you should do it. I'm heading into the coffee shop now for a little time with my friend Mark. So bless you guys. Have a great day.